Hello, everybody. Justice, the best that I can. Still working with the terrible setup, so sorry, not sorry. Welcome back to Age's Perspective. It has been a while. It's been a couple weeks, and I apologize for that. With this coronavirus stuff going on, and I've started a new job, which I have to be on like a Zoom call all day long, like a conference call all day long, so I've been just exhausted, and these videos I like really care about, and I want to be like on point 100% when I make them. So I'm finally feeling it today. And yeah, so today is a very big day for me. Today is my 90-day mark. I am 90 days sober today, and it feels so good. I'm kind of exhausted right now, but I went fishing with my grandfather and some of his buddies this morning, and that was a lot of fun and super special. I've always wanted to go on a fishing trip, just him and I, and because they were in a separate boat, so it was technically just him and I. And that was so much fun, very special, sometimes something I'll remember forever, and such a great way to bring in the new month. 90 days is big. 90 days is, when you start getting to 90 days, that's a lot of, or that's usually a time for a lot of people where they start to plateau in their recovery. And by plateau, what that means is, and if you have anything to do with any kind of recovery, you may have heard the term the pink cloud. And the pink cloud is basically that rush you get of endorphins, and as your chemicals just start to balance themselves out, and things that were shut down are starting to work again, all start working at once. And so you're just like hyped up all the time. You're like, oh, this is awesome, sobriety is awesome, recovery is awesome. Well, eventually all those chemicals are going to balance out, and then you're just going to kind of feel like blah, like normal again. And that's why it's really important in those first few months of recovery to really get a plan together, and also get that reality in your head that the pink cloud is a thing, and you need to be prepared for when that pink cloud dissipates. So I feel really good. I definitely don't take my meds every day like I should, and it's the whole point of this video, actually. I'll just, 90 days. It's not been easy. Oh God, no. It's been the farthest thing from easy. It's getting easier, I'll say that much. But as far as, I say like cravings and stuff have definitely dissipated, and mental strength has gotten there and gotten stronger. But in light of today's celebration of my 90 days, I thought it'd be a great idea a relevant idea to make a video about how I did it. You know what I'm saying? I've talked about what led up to it. I've talked to me even having the issue of an opiate problem. I've talked about all that, but I haven't necessarily talked about the hardest part of recovery, especially from opiates. I mean, across the board, but especially from opiates. And that at the end of my using experience, I did not want to be using anymore. I did not. I hated it. I hated what it had done to me. I hated who I'd become. I hated the fact that I was just so, like, just ready to die. Like, if I overdose, fuck it. I don't care. So I was using so that I didn't have to be sick. Because opiate withdrawal in general is awful. It is the devil. It is a form of the devil that people do not deserve to go through. And so that's kind of what I want to touch on in today's video, because I was using so that I wouldn't get sick, and that's a story for a lot of people. Of course I wanted to be better. Of course I wanted to stop like disappointing my people, my family, my support system. Of course I wanted to stop messing myself up and hurting my brain and my health and all of that, but I just could not stand the withdrawals. If you've gone through withdrawals before, when you ask people about it, for those of you who don't know, a lot of the times they'll just say, like, I always say it's like you got the flu on crack, on steroids, I'm saying. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's my first time around, before I relapsed, when I was in Philadelphia, my withdrawals was mostly just like irritability, couldn't sleep, sweats, like hot and cold, didn't have body temperature regulation, was just going through like mild withdrawals. Honestly, it wasn't until I started like shooting up and stuff that, oh my god, that was the worst thing. Irritability, couldn't eat, throwing up, I mean, the whole nine. And it was terrible. My Thanksgiving this past year, I just started spending more time with my biological father and like building that relationship. And I'd gone out there to his house for Thanksgiving. And I thought I was going to be able to make it, 2 days without going into withdrawal. Holy shit. The whole thing, and that's Thanksgiving. Like, that's a holiday where you want to be able to eat until you can't eat anymore. I literally forced food down, and then we went to another side of his family's, and then I like drank to try and like calm my body down, threw up, clogged the toilet, pretended like it wasn't me, was sick the whole time, couldn't sleep, just couldn't wait to go back to my house so I could take a train to the city and go get right. That shit was the biggest part of the control part of it. The withdrawals were awful. So in my recovery journey, before I went to Illinois, when I first started like shooting up and when my family first brought it to my attention about how worried they were and things of that nature, I tried to, so at first I was just trying to like just quit, and I could not do it for the life of me. It would just be too bad. And honestly though, I would get a few days in where I was like doing okay or whatever, but it wasn't until like I got a phone call or a text that said like, hey, what's up, you should try this shit, it's fire, from all my dealer friends. And immediately, it's so crazy how strong like the mental like connection, it's just wild. Immediately I went into withdrawal, pacing back and forth, I'm shaking like crazy. I can't stop thinking about it. And so I was doing so well, would take a train and go get my shit, be gone for a few days, and yeah, that was that. So before I got on a Suboxone program, which is, a medicine that they use for, withdrawal alleviating or whatever, I tried the whole kratom thing. That's something that I tried to do. And you know what? I'm not going to lie. Like, that stuff helped. It helped me sleep and all of that. But to be honest, I was doing so much dope so frequently that, because the thing about kratom is your dose is very unique to yourself. So, like, you have to play around with it to find your perfect dose, because if you take too much, it's a waste. You don't do anything. If you take too little, you don't feel anything. You have to find that happy medium. And it was just annoying, and it tasted disgusting. And maybe if it was like a pain pill situation, that would have done something. But it wasn't that. It was that times a bajillion, So kratom, I could see how kratom could work for some people. It didn't work for me, but what it did do was allow me to, make it. Because I started doing kratom after I had scheduled an appointment at the Suboxone doctor, but it was like 2 weeks out, so I started to take the kratom, and it would help me like sleep, but I would have to take it like first thing in the morning on an empty stomach, and then take it with some kind of caffeinated beverage for it to give me any kind of like true alleviation of symptoms. So do I recommend kratom to those who are thinking about getting clean? To each their own, and that try it if you want. Make sure you don't go to like some like corner ass smoke shop. They have, real herbal medicine shops that sell it, because it's not regulated, right? The FDA actually hates the shit, so it's not regulated in any sort of kind of way, so anybody can put anything in it, fill it with anything, stretch it with anything. So you want to go to like a medicinal, like, yes, this is the real deal. And then also, if it's something that you're interested in, the red strain is known to help, because there's different strains for different things in the kratom world, and the red strain is known to alleviate withdrawal symptoms the best. So, when I finally made it to my Suboxone doctor, honestly, Suboxone has saved my life multiple times now. Multiple times. The thing about Suboxone is you have to be very careful with it. Like, so I've known about Suboxone for years now because obviously when I was like in my pill stage of this addiction and nobody had any because Percocets are getting harder and harder to find. If nobody had any or only had a certain amount of money and I was starting to get, honestly, I didn't go through withdrawals as bad as like my ex did because I wasn't taking hardly as much. But either way, you take your Suboxone and whatever. So what Suboxone does, it's naloxone and it's buprenorphine, I think is how you say that, mixed together. So Subutex, there's so many different things, right? So Suboxone is bup with naloxone. So bup is an opioid. It's an opioid and a half-life or something. I don't know the exact science behind it, but basically it keeps those opioid receptors in your brain busy. What naloxone does is naloxone fucking sucks onto those receptors so that nothing else can attach to them opiate wise. So if you were to take a Suboxone right now and then try and use a few hours from now, you're gonna waste your shit. That's how overdose happens a lot because you have to take so much to feel anything, but before you know it, you have way too much of whatever cut chemical is in your shit, So another thing to be careful with too is with Suboxone, you have to wait until you're in full withdrawal to take it. I'm saying this and I'm backing this up because I've gone through it. One time I went to go, this was actually the trip that I decided to leave Philadelphia. I went to Baltimore to go to work and man, I was like, whoa, I was high as shit and whatever. And then the next day, I don't know why I decided to. I wasn't even like sick or anything. I was not sick. I had too much dope still in my system. I tried to take a Suboxone. Oh my gosh. Again, that naloxone, it'll go in there onto those receptors. And if you have opiates on there, on your receptors, it will rip them off. So if you're coming off of like a half-gram fucking day/evening and you do that to yourself, you put yourself in something that's called precipitated withdrawal. Precipitated withdrawal is the worst thing I had. I wanted to die. I wanted to go to the hospital. I wanted to do one of two things: go to the hospital or fucking kill myself, because that shit was so bad. Like literally, it's not even like it's gradual withdrawal like usual as it slowly leaves your, no, that shit rips all of that opiate stuff right off of your receptors. So again, I would say if you know about Suboxone, you're interested in Suboxone or whatever, just want the knowledge, you need to be in full withdrawal if you are going to take it. And also, you really need to be dedicated to this recovery road, this road to recovery. Because it'll be a never end. Like, I was taking Suboxone at one point just to, like, get me in between pickups. You know what I'm saying? Like, I couldn't find it, didn't have enough money, so I took a sub to, like, get me through the next couple days until I could get high again. What's the point of that? Suboxone was made to help people in their recovery not have to go through the shit that is withdrawals. So, when I went to Illinois, I got prescribed, in New Mexico, I got prescribed 1 month's worth. They did overwrite me, but I kind of let them do that because you never know exactly what happened. You never know if you're going to leave or whatever, and I left. But I only had 1 month's worth. And so, but when I got to Illinois, I was on that pink cloud, and I'm like, oh, this is awesome. I got this shit. I'm making money. I'm a fucking hustler. I got a beautiful home. I'm chilling. I'm doing it on my own. And so that month stretched for months, for multiple months. And then I ran out, and I was still doing good, still going strong. You know, all the shit's out of my system. I'm good to go. Then I met the one person who introduced me, and it's like they say in the recovery world, you're only going to go to the barber shop so many times before you end up getting a haircut. Hanging out with this person, taking him to get his shit, being around it. Eventually, I'm like, yeah, you know what? I will treat myself. So, you know, you really got to be committed because Suboxone works. It works, especially if you take it right. I've heard people abusing Suboxone. I've heard more of people abusing methadone, which methadone should just not be on the market, I feel like. I mean, it works for some people and Suboxone doesn't, and whatever. I in my personal opinion, though, if you're looking for an option, I would definitely say Suboxone. There's also a shot by the name of Vivitrol, and that's just like straight naloxone, basically. And so it's, you take it 1 month at a time, I believe, and it just connects to those receptors, so nothing can attach to them. So in your mental mind, you're like, okay, well, I can't even get high, so what's the point? Anyways, so that was the hardest part for me, because in my mind, knowing myself, I knew that if I could just get past the withdrawal phase, I would be okay. Because I've done it before, you know, and now, like, going to group, which it sucks. I miss my group mates because I mean, with all this COVID shit, I haven't been able to go to my group sessions and stuff like that, which is unfortunate, but they're going to start doing calls, so that's exciting. Anywho, oh, I don't remember what I was saying. Oh, okay, just educating yourself. So, like, if you're going to be about recovery, be about recovery. If you have a strong enough support system where they're like, do what you got to do, we got you, be 110% about your recovery. Don't rush into getting a job. Unless you have to. Unless you have to, I completely understand that. I've been there. But, you know, don't rush yourself. And no matter what real life schedule you have to build for yourself to survive economically and all of that, your recovery schedule has got to be there, and it's got to be on point, and you've got to be on point about it. You know, I've tried this recovery road a few times now, but I feel like the past times of my recovery were abstinence. They weren't recovery, because this is the first time that I'm going out and I'm getting this information, and I'm being around like-minded individuals who have gone through a lot of the same shit that I felt so alone about. And, you know, this, that, and the third, just having that education and having professionals let you know. By the way, find you a good counselor. If you're going to do counselor shit, find you a good counselor, preferably one that is either been an addict and has recovered, and or has someone in their family or close circle that's gone through it, because those are the people that you're going to relate to the most. You know what I mean? So, the education and the knowledge, as well as medication and the want to be better, it all starts with you. Okay? Yeah, recovery sucks. It's embarrassing. It hurts your pride that you even were where you were, and this, that, and the third, but you've got to want it for yourself. All of these resources are here for you. I'm on a government-funded program. There's so many different programs that help people in addiction that you can take advantage of. A lot of them are sliding scales, so if you don't have insurance, I don't have insurance right now. I'm paying $2 a session because there are just resources out there. You've got to want it for yourself. The minute I started to want it for myself and then pursue that and going to all of these, you know, resources that are available, that's when, like, a weight was, like, almost like a lid, like a heavy ass, stuck ass jar lid was finally opened, and all that pressure was just released. And I told myself to be vulnerable. It's okay. You're a human, as you are surrounded by humans. It's okay. Be vulnerable. Be weak at times. It's all of this vulnerability and weakness and sensitivity and all of this stuff. It's like yin and yang. Experiencing the most extreme versions of that is what's going to set the bar for your extreme strengths. You know what I'm saying? Extreme weaknesses set the bar for extreme strengths. Extreme strengths. Say that 5 times fast. Anyways, so I wanted to make this video because the hardest part of starting this road was getting through the withdrawal. It wasn't even that I didn't want to. Of course I wanted to. So many people don't stop using because they don't want to go through withdrawals. It's not worth it. See, when you're there, it is not worth it. It's not worth it. My heart and biggest, like, salutes go to all the people that cut cold turkey anything you guys are the real MVP. Seriously, especially opiates. Oh my goodness, if you have quit opiates just on the strength and have done it cold turkey, yo, I like, again, salutes to you, because that was the hardest challenge for me. So yeah, here I am 90 days later, feeling good, feeling great, feeling fantastic, terrific, great, you know, feeling strong. I'm feeling more me than I ever have, and I'm feeling more motivated than ever to help others go through it, because I'm just understanding things a lot more and how it all works. And yeah, I just couldn't be happier. So thanks for watching. Sorry for the delay in videos. I hope everyone is staying safe and social distancing and blah, 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 all of that shit. Wash your hands, get in here, get your fingertips, all of that. For those of you who are going through this and you have some sort of, or for just those of whoever are going through this, my heart, I think about it every day, all the people on the streets and all just the drug addicts and the homeless and all of that. Like, that's who my heart really goes out to. Of course, the elders and the babies, but my heart really goes out to the people who need the resources that are out there and don't have access to them. I feel like if I was in that position, I would feel like, I would just, like, in my mind, just because I know how that mindset works, I'd be like, you know what, fuck it, it's not meant for me to get well. And so my heart goes out to all of those people who are out there struggling in this time of pandemic. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. I'm going to leave my Instagram below. If there's a certain anything you guys want me to talk about or mention or anything like that, or if you have any questions for me, please hit me up on Instagram. I guess I can link my Facebook as well, as much as I hate Facebook. I do it for the fam and for the culture, I guess. But yeah, so I'll catch you in my next video. Yeah, but please, please, please leave a comment. Subscribe. You don't have to, though. Not worried about it. I just want to get my message out there. And stay safe. And hope y'all got enough toilet paper. I'm just joking. That don't even get me started on that. But okay. Thanks for watching, as always. And make sure you send this message or this video to someone who might need it, you know. I'm here to help because I'm going through it. I'm only 90 days sober. Like, it's not like I'm like years and years sober and it's hard to relate to. No, I'm 90 days sober. I'm still fresh in the game. So, you know, feel free to reach out. Feel free to share my information and all of that. It's for, you know, it's for you guys and for those who are struggling and going through a hard time, or those of you who know someone and are close to someone who's going through a hard time. So, alrighty, well, thank you. It's always, I always never know how to end these videos, and I feel so awkward. I just like, ah. But catch you on the next video, and thank you for all your support and your well wishes. And yeah, if you are on this road to recovery, leave a comment or message me or whatever, and let me know how far into recovery you are. I always love hearing and seeing everybody's recovery journeys and diaries and all of that stuff. So, all right, until next time.